Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new campaign known as The Clutch. And no, it's not a handbag, Christian.
Ugh.
Uh, nice try. Um, welcome to the world of Elmas. The six of you, sometimes seven when Banana is able to be here, are currently on the southern continent of the recently renamed Redemption Haven. It is free from the tyranny of the dragon slavers known as the Order of Saint Gregorie, from the Evergreen Continent to the north. Rumor has it that they have a matriarch that's enslaved that produces the eggs that they use to hatch more dragons to enslave for their own will. If everyone wants to go through, we'll start with Andrew and describe what your character looks like. The six of you have been adventuring together for some time now. You are familiar with each other, but for me and the other players to actually know what you look like, let's go ahead. Go ahead, Andrew.
I will be playing Silent Scrim, a follower, a cleric, follower of the Fae goddess of death. I am a human. The character is about 6 even, black hair, black eyes, long black hair that is, rail thin but able to hold his own. Um, Dark scale mail, pretty much think gothic AF. Has a um, walking stick that has a bell at the end of it as his primary weapon. A staff. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. And that's about it.
Okay, Mitchell.
Sure, I'll be playing Saturn, a kind of a young adult half elf who has met a couple of the members before starting to work for Tranquility of the Valiant, namely, I'm going to probably butcher the name, uh, Vigo, and we ended up on the same ship that there ended up being a mutiny on, and eventually ended up, through a coincidence, working for the Tranquility of the Valiant.
Okay, Eric.
Okay. I am playing Niwateb Ni et Morph Mood. You can call him Mood. They are. Their height changes based on how they're feeling, and they kind of look like they're made of like vines esque, and they seem to like look more or less viney depending on the day. Uh, they've come from the Feywild and stumbled upon a dragon at one point. Tiny dragon with a ranger companion buddy. And it was intrigued by it. So it decided to follow them. And that's why he's here. Or they're here.
Perfect. Christian.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you're Christian.
I am playing Clarence Twicewired. He has been a humble warforged, sent to make up for the sins of his past in his murderous ways. He's a big old boy, about 6'6", pure real body muscle. But he's a lovable goofball. Um, with a heart of, I wouldn't say gold, but at least bronze. Um, yeah, that's about it.
All right. Chris.
Uh, Vigo Bernhard Whitbottom, a Lightfoot halfling as broad of vision as his name is long. Checks in at about 3 feet tall. Spent a few years as a sailor on board a merchant vessel. Was doing well, enjoying it, and then discovered that the captain and first mate were involved in smuggling some illegal materials, but the crew was not getting paid their fair share. So, along with a few others, Vigo staged a mutiny, pitching the captain and the first mate overboard along with their ill-gotten goods. And then, through a series of trials and tribulations, he eventually wound up working as a recruit for a thieves guild, with called the Grace of Shadows. They trained him. He learned the craft well, and was successful in completing a number of contracts alone and with groups. Some time ago, recently, he was given a release from the guild, was assigned to come work for the Tranquility, and was reunited with an old shipmate. Has been working with the group ever since. So, also recently, he began reading a fascinating journal by a young wizard named Kasric Lingenbottom. And Vigo has come to realize that Kasric's opinion that proper sized people are halfling and below, and everything else is a big in the world. So he's changed his attitude toward people. But if there's something you need nicked, Vigo's your man. If there's something you need pulled out of a pocket or put back into one, Vigo's your man. If there's a little bit of stealth work that needs to take place, maybe, a chest opened or a trap found, Vigo's your man. If it's stabby, stabby, slashy, slashy, fighty, fighty, yeah, Vigo's probably standing behind somebody, and Vigo's your man.
Perfect. I love it. You've all been summoned to Vance's, for lack of a better word, office.
We're forgetting somebody.
He's not here. Oh, Mel, I'm sorry.
You forgot the most important member of the entire.
I really did. I'm the
Way to
worst.
Start the whole campaign.
Just fire me.
Okay. All
Fire
right,
me.
please get back to scene 1. Let's go. Rewind there.
All right, hold on. Let me stop the stream, stop the recording, restart this all.
I cannot believe you.
I can't believe me either. I was so excited to have her in the campaign finally, and now I'm just fucking
And
it
you
up.
do
No.
something like this?
We can tell completely.
I know, right?
Oh.
She is the person who needs no introduction.
Of the get to know each other as we didn't have to do this because
It's more for
I'm
YouTube
here.
and whatnot, so. But,
all right.
yes.
Isabel Melisande, or go by Melisande. She is a Drake Warden that comes from a small village named Septor, and she is traveling with her fire Drake Cora, just kind of figuring out what she's supposed to do with herself and whatnot, and has been on several different adventures along the way before meeting up with Tranquility of the Valiant. Who she's met with these other characters, and she is always looking for more knowledge and learning, and never one to step back from a fight and help people. Second.
Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is Cora spelled with a K or C?
C.
Awesome. And that's all the notes I'm gonna take for the rest of the campaign.
Silas's name and Cora's name.
No, I've got everybody's name. I've got Silas Saturn, Mood, Vigo Whitbottom, Melisande, and Fire Drake Cora.
Oh, man. Solid notes. I like it.
And then I wrote down, we work for Tranquility of the Valiant.
You didn't have that written down earlier.
No, I didn't.
Because I checked the
What we do
sheets.
is just adapt that to be our own team name. And therefore, we can surpass the faction, and the faction becomes a faction of us.
There you go. We're the real Tranquility of the Valiant.
I really do hate you all.
Maybe we're Valiant Tranquility.
Anyways, you are summoned to Vance's, for lack of a better term, as I was saying, office. As you enter, he's got papers everywhere. There's books on shelves. Very disorganized. And Vance is an almost wiry elf with thick spectacles, and he's been your handler for missions for as long as you can remember. but he seems especially nervous today. He says, "Oh, I'm glad you've all arrived. It's time for you to meet our leader. You have proved yourselves worthy enough that she has a special mission for you. I fear for your safety, but I do with all my charges. Please, come with me." And he leads you all to, I don't want to say throne room, but it could be if necessary, where you see, as you know, Raedra, the leader of the Tranquility of the Valiant, or TOV for short. Let me get some names in here. She's a beautiful human in her late 30s, though age and stress are beginning to show their signs, with a long streak of silver in her hair. Her primary advisor is Miramon.
I'm not writing that one down.
Not surprised. Who's an older, sharp-witted man with a long beard and elegant clothing. There's an air of confidence around them, as though they seem sure of their capabilities and their mission goal. Though you all know it has been a very tiring campaign. And as you approach and Vance leads you to them, she stands up and says, "Greetings, representatives. You have proven yourselves to this point to be reliable, strong, and dare I say, brutal when necessary. And for that, the Valiant thank you. What I am asking of you today is no favor. It is an order and a very important mission. My scouts have reported that the dragon rider, known as Ayendas, and his dragon have been scouting our lands. He must be looking for something. We are not sure what. He seems to be around the eastern peninsula. We can have Vance, and you see Vance kind of like look away at the mention of his name and like wince. Teleport you there, hopefully, to check things out. Keep in mind this is a reconnaissance mission, and you are not to engage with him directly should you come across him. If you do, there's no guarantee you will make it out alive. As you've been informed when you first joined our order, our goal is to free the matriarch Iris from captivity from the dragon slavers, if that is even possible at this point. Please do not engage him. Find out what you can, and then report back to me. Does anybody have any questions?
Now, say battle is inevitable. Can we kill him?
If you think you are more than capable, by all means. It would be a huge blow to their forces. It's not that I don't doubt your abilities. I just don't underestimate his.
How attractive are the two new people we've just met?
The older gentleman doesn't look bad. I mean, he's not the most handsome man in the world, but he's a good-looking guy. Definitely more like a rugged older gentleman. And she is very beautiful.
Okay. I just gotta look at them both and like, I believe it can be easily done.
I would say try to avoid the confrontation if you can, but if it happens, I wish you luck.
Shall we get going then? I'm gonna look at the old wizard man.
Team that is going on this reconnaissance mission.
He will teleport you there, and then he will be leaving.
Just real quick, Raedra is the head of the organization. Miramon is the chief advisor.
Yep.
And Ayendas is what?
Your target, he is the dragon rider.
And Iris?
Iris is the matriarch that is rumored to be enslaved in the northern peninsula. And
Do we know anything more about them?
Not a whole lot is known. Those who travel to the northern peninsula seldom come back. She's lost a good many spies that way. It's rumored that Iris is a matriarch enslave that produces eggs that the Order of Saint Gregorie uses to hatch new dragons and enslave them to potential dragon riders.
Okay.
Um,
And taking a quick look at Melisande when all these names are flying out, is she wincing or giving nods, or what is Melisande
She would not know any of
reacting
these names.
to this? The concept of these evil dragon riders, so it's got to be the competition,
Yeah.
or her evil counterpart, so to speak.
Yeah, these names aren't known to her, but she's more sheltered.
Shouldn't she be saying this?
Oh, fair.
I haven't heard.
I mean,
these
she is
names.
playing the game.
Yes.
No, I have not heard these names.
Okay. Okay.
So Vance. Oh, go ahead.
I guess ready to go.
We are in. Is it Crespin or Volksfair right now? Volksfair, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this is like a guild hall?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. You're in Vluxfer.
Yeah, Volksfair.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
weird names. Yeah, and we're in some kind of guild hall?
Yes, it could probably pass for a throne room if they tried to rearrange it, but it's definitely more of a guild hall.
But like the whole building is like a guild hall?
Yes.
Okay. So we're looking for the guy. What are we looking for to know? Just whether he's there or not?
Whether or not he's there, why he's there, if you can figure that out. And
do we get a description of what he looks like?
Well, seeing as how he's a dragon rider,
Well,
I'd assume he's on a dragon.
yeah, but there might be more than one.
sorry. Yes. He is a dragonborn with like a reddish hue. His dragon is a large all black dragon. Be it adult, it's at least an adult, maybe older.
Do we know if he is a arcane magic user, or is he more of a sword and shield kind of guy? Do we know, what do we know of him other than a name, a description, and he rides a big black dragon?
What's up, Emma?
He's a dragonborn, so I'm presuming he's more of a smashy, hacky person. Kind of like, and I'll reach over and knock on Clarence's shin guard. This one. Tink, tink.
I'm just gonna look down. Yes! I do the smashy, slashy, hacky.
Right, but my question was, does Iendis also do that? Granted, being Dragonborn, more likely to do that. But it's not unknown for Dragonborn to also have arcane powers or divine powers. So I was wondering, do we have any details on that with him?
What you do know is that he is primarily like a spear user. Whether or not he mixes arcane magic into that, no one knows. No one who has encountered him in battle has lived. The scouts have seen him with a spear on his back, though.
Perfect. Our duel will be legendary.
Would you tell her?
Solid. How long do you want us to try to look for them?
Give it about a week, and then report after a week.
Okay.
So, but chances are very good that he's over there because that's where he was last seen.
Any towns in the area that we're going to be transported to? Or just going to be dumped off in the middle of nowhere?
She says, as long as he's accurate with his teleport, and she's shoots a glance at Vance, you should be. Sorry. Where is it? Where is it? You should be around the town of, bless you, Quaning.
If we need to come back earlier than a week from now, or indicate we're ready to come back, is there some way we can contact back here to Vance?
I can get us back.
Wonderful.
Vance goes, yes, Moo knows the way to get back.
Okay, great.
So make sure I don't die.
That's easy enough.
Killed the tree.
So if you are all ready,
Yeah.
Ready.
Ready for nap time.
everyone hold hands. This is going to feel a little weird.
Go on. Hold hands, guys. Let's see the
Done.
mitts.
I will just wrap my arms around Clarence's chin again.
Appropriate.
Otherwise, he's got to lean down too far.
All right, I need someone to roll me a D100, please.
Oh, first roll of the night. Let's go. I got it. Boom, 4.
Don't got it.
As he goes to cast
Wow.
the spell,
Power.
Either good or bad.
as he-
Terrible. It's gonna be great.
What was he rolling for?
I don't know.
Teleportation.
Teleportation accuracy.
as
I
he
thought the lower the
A
number
4 on a
was on a
D100?
D100.
Hang on. The dice been cast. Let's hear the result.
as he goes to cast a spell, there is a small explosion with arcane feedback, and everyone's gonna take 17 points of force damage.
Oh my gosh.
Can I dodge this?
No,
Gotta take.
this is a teleport mishap. Go ahead and roll another one, please, Christian, because that was epic.
Yes, sir. We'll
What a
do.
waste,
Yeah!
I guess we're teleported tomorrow.
So
TPK.
as the feedback hits you all and you get burst, and you just see this look of acceptance on oh crap, I can't remember her name now.
Raydra.
Raydra, yes, thank you. Off of Raydra's face as he's like, "Oh, sorry, let's try this again," and you all disappear. That's awesome.
I thought the local numbers were supposed to be good.
No, not with teleport.
Oh, well,
So
Did he fail
I don't-
again?
I don't spellcast.
as you reappear, you're in a small town.
Who's good at
Click on the map
talking?
and click on the map. Show
I am.
Vance looks around and says, "This is not Quaning."
Looks like you're gonna spend the night with us.
Oh,
Unless you could do it again,
this
which would be
is
very impressive.
very frustrating. No, I'm sorry. It's only the once.
Didn't you do it twice?
Technically, when there's a mishap, you re-roll.
Oh, okay. It doesn't use the spell slot.
No.
Oh, okay. No, so he was gonna have to stay with us anyway.
I
Yeah.
went over
Or,
Melisande,
or,
go,
or
where
I
are we?
could have, or I could have sent him back.
So he says, "So, yes. Let's go ask some villagers where we are and see where we are and go from there."
Yeah, why not? Let's scout the area. It'd be
Prove it.
fine.
We want to heal first.
Heal.
Yes,
Can
I
someone do
mean-
that?
I can heal 6 of us. And
Okay.
if you want, it'll take us 30. Take me 10 minutes. But if we want to investigate first, that's totally understandable.
Okay, yeah, let's investigate. You can technically do that while moving.
Oh, excuse me.
So we can move around it if you want to take your 10 minutes to boogity boogity. And then pop it on it.
We're not in a continent that bans magic, are we?
No.
Okay. Then yes, I will start oogity boogity while people talk.
Oogity boogity.
Question: where were we supposed to arrive on the world map?
Oops, sorry.
You were supposed to arrive about here.
Okay.
Where did we start?
You started in the forest over here.
And you said we were trying to get here?
Yes.
Okay. So, but we don't know where we are at this. We could be up here, for all we know.
Yeah.
You could be anywhere.
Well, we're not on fire, so I'm presuming we can write this one off.
Well, fair.
And it is not
You,
snow.
you could be anywhere in this area, though.
Okay.
As long as it's a similar location.
Yep.
That's the beauty of teleport mishaps.
Wonderful.
Watch me put that on there and I can't get rid of it now. Okay, there we go. Oh, there goes half the start. Christian,
I'm not
Why
drawing.
you assuming it's me?
it's always
Do
you.
not look at Vigo. Vigo is not drawing anything. Okay, the purple, that's the start. Got it. Thank you. All right. So I'm looking at the ranger lady and going, Milisan, this is sort of more your territory than mine. Pretty lady, please nicely find us something.
Okay.
Well, we're in the middle of a town, right?
Oh, in the middle of a forest.
No, you're in the middle of town.
Oh,
We're in the middle of
okay.
a town.
Yeah, you guys went to a similar location, just not the right location.
Yeah. So we're looking for an inn.
Yes.
Let's look for an inn.
I can't drink alcohol.
I mean,
Why not?
technically?
It rusts my circuits.
Fair.
Also, Papa said that alcohol is the root of all evil.
I'm legitimately drinking a bottle of wine, just like, you sure?
Well, that's just what Papa said. And Papa... Well, Papa had a lot of problems.
'Cause this stuff is delicious. And you did just see me just make it out of thin air.
Sounds about right.
Yep. So asking around real quick, you find out that you are in Redwater. And you would know Redwater is right here. Off the river.
Right there.
Okay.
You saying it's right there?
That could have been worse.
Or is it right
Um,
there?
Can the DM put a pin on that, please? Or like a little tiny circle like you did for the start?
I'll make it red for Redwater.
Wonderful.
And the only tavern in here is the typical ferret.
Alright, to the typical ferret we go.
Make our way there. I start chopping my bell and humming some things, and we are all of us are healed since there's 6 players or 6 characters for 13 points of healing.
What we got?
Was that Saturn who did that?
No.
2 other targets? We have 2 other people that
Yeah,
didn't get healed?
the Drake and Vigo both, or Vance both took it as well.
Oh, so the Drake. I'll let the Drake have my healing then.
Is she out
For
right
now.
now?
I apologize. I would assume that you would have her out at almost at all times.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can tell me no. That's fine.
And who did the healing spell, please?
Silas.
Sounds it.
Silas, thank you,
Yeah.
Silas.
So Mel, you don't have to hide your magic or hide your Drake if you don't want to. I guess is my point.
Okay.
So
Where's her? Oh, okay. I see. All right. No, I just didn't even think about that. Okay.
yeah, like if you want to say that you had her away for the teleport, that's fine because you can summon her anywhere.
Right. Well, I didn't verbally describe her, and so I think I was just not I was thinking she wasn't out right now. So.
Your call.
Well, yeah, she wasn't out.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so she wouldn't take the
Healing
damage.
mage.
So
No, the mage does not get the healing.
No.
I am upset.
Vance expects that.
I think
And thus begins Vance's origin story, his villain story.
I am not. Do you think I'm a healing cleric? I'm a keep you alive cleric.
Isn't that the most important part of healing?
No,
Yes.
I actually can do much. I can do much better things if you are dead than if you are alive.
I believe that.
Then kill me, coward.
Do any of us have healing? I don't have healing.
I can
We don't
heal
have
myself.
potions, but
You got the good berry you popped up.
Yeah, I got the good berry. That's why. That's not very helpful.
No, I have a ton of actual healing spells, but my job is not to heal you.
Yeah.
I have no healer.
I was just looking. I'm like, I don't have any healing spells.
This is gonna be a fun campaign.
Trust me, I've been looking at optimizing where I take my healing spells at, because this is the first time I've played a cleric in over a decade. So let's go.
Solid.
just don't be a jester.
No.
Anyone want some wine while we look for this inn?
Yes, please.
Okay. Pour you a glass.
Are we actually searching for an inn?
Yeah, we were looking for, and then we're
For
finding
the-
something
I'd
fair.
like to find the nearest local.
Yeah, I mean, there's people walking around.
Excuse me, I'm looking for the inn.
Yes.
Down here.
The
My eyes are down here.
I'm looking at you. I promise. God damn, little people! I'm telling you. You're looking for the typical ferret, my friend. And they will
Ferret.
point. They will point where the typical ferret is.
Thank you very much. Darn pigs.
Brandon, that was not supposed to go to you. That was supposed to go to Vigo. I'm just so used to typing out /WGM.
Yeah, and I can read anything you whispered him anyway. So
Oh, well, cool.
you can't hide anything from the DM.
Don't really intend to hide it in the first place.
No, I know.
Oh, what the fuck?
All right, yeah. So you guys make it to the tavern. What do you guys want to do?
Found the tavern for you.
Let's try this again. Boom! Third time's the charm.
I was gonna say I didn't see anything go through.
With her. I got it.
Cool. Where are we?
Found the inn. So, Vigo will enter the inn by walking under doors.
Oh, you like really cut out there for a second.
Vigo will walk into the inn by walking underneath the two half swinging doors.
Oh yeah, easy enough to do for you.
So, and step off to the side using only half my movement and disappear into the shadows if I can.
Yeah, easily enough to do. Roll a stealth check for me.
I can do that. So, since there's no character on the screen,
Yeah, you can just do it from your sheet.
okay, let's do stealth check. There's that. Stealth. What do
Well, that's a very poor roll.
I got a 26.
Yeah.
Oh, you had advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually. I rolled a 14 plus 12.
Mel, I need you to make a charisma saving throw, please.
Me?
No, Mel.
Oh.
I'd like to
Did
go
I
through
just
the
click
door.
charisma?
The charisma save.
I'd like to go through the doors of the tavern like a fridge. Just
Oh, here.
no arms, just straight through.
Yeah, so you just walk through. All right.
Follow?
Wait, do we have a mage in this group?
I think we have several.
Okay.
Yes.
So you walk in, and
Okay,
there's
sure.
someone playing a lute. Nice upbeat tempo. People are, drinking, having a good time.
Oh, I joined him with my what do you call it? Call it a pan flute.
Okay. Go ahead and make a performance check for me.
Did I ever get my harmonica?
I don't know. Did you?
I don't know that answer. I asked you.
I'm doing great.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. At first, the person playing looks at you like, "Hey, don't try and steal my thunder over here." But then you start playing beautifully, and they actually enjoy you joining in on the performance. Anybody else want to do anything?
I'll just try to sit down at like a table or something.
Yeah, there's a few open tables. Sit down. A server comes over and asks, "What will you have to drink?"
Do they have anything simple?
We got mead. We have ale.
I'll take an ale.
All right, that'll be 5 silver pieces.
I'll hand them over.
All right. Collects the 5 silver and heads to go get you the drink.
5 silver? What kind of highway robbery is this?
You don't drink. What do you know?
Enough.
Oh
I come from a corrupt city. I know what inflation is like.
Oh yeah, don't we all right now? After a moment, she brings over your drink, sets it down in front of you, says, "Enjoy."
Thank you.
I'd like to go clap my hands and dance with the music players.
Make a performance check.
Yeah.
Did our mage get anything to eat?
Sorry, I just had a bunch of stuff happening. Yeah, I went over. Oh wait, not me. I went over and got a beer.
Okay.
Ale.
Ale is 5 silvers as well.
Okay.
So Clarence, you start dancing and clapping along, and you're not out of time with them or anything. You're having a good time. A couple of the other patrons start to join in with you.
I'm going to teach them the electric slide. Or
You got to rename it.
the robot shuffle.
There you go. This ale it's really good. Like you've had ale, sure. This is just like it's like a step up. There's something that just makes it better.
Is it magic?
You don't know. You're done drinking it.
Are we gonna? I'll put 5 silver down as well for this ale, and start just watching people.
Okay. What are you trying to glean off the people?
I have a passive perception of 27 and a passive insight off of, or 18 insight. Is there anybody who looks to do us ill harm since we've gotten to the tavern?
What the hell is that?
Absolutely perfect. I love it.
Oh my god.
Where
Sorry.
did you find that prompt?
Oh my god.
Oh, that's not even my only one.
How
Are
is
you
that
telling me
mild?
that
That is
you-
wonderful.
Are you telling me that you just had a picture of a dancing fridge ready to go? Did you predict this?
This is why Mitchell is our meme person.
Oh, you got to see the next one. I got one more in response to that.
Anyways, just quick glance around.
There went my notes. I threw them. They're across the room. I really wish I had my camera on for that.
Oh my god. Nobody will see it anyways because I don't have the video, the pictures up. It's all names.
Yep.
Because I have your icons on the bottom of my stream overlay.
Oh, we can
Cool.
see them in game.
True.
I'm gonna go get my notes.
Anyways, sorry, Silas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking around, glancing, it doesn't seem as though anyone is like eyeing you guys specifically. I mean, they're watching the Warforged. They're not very common, you know. So people are watching the Warforged, sure, but nothing screams ill intent.
Okay. I'll slowly sip this ale. I'm that guy at the bar who comes in at 9 o'clock, leaves at 2 after only having one beer.
Yeah, it's really good ale.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
Can I do like a history check? Cause like to see if I know anything about this place. Cause part of my setting out into the world
Yeah.
was to learn about things.
Of course, go right ahead.
I just click history.
Yep. Perfect. You've been through this town, sure, but you didn't really stay long enough to really know much about the history of this town. The only thing that you would know is that this town was originally founded in response to needing a small little area to gain fish for Redwater, Vigo. A small fishing village to have fresh fish for some of the neighboring towns and whatnot. So this town was built out of necessity, just happens to be doing okay.
Okay.
Did Marimon get any food?
Miramon's not with you, Vance is.
Wasn't Marimon the person that teleported us there?
No, Vance
Over
did.
here?
Miramar is the advisor.
Yeah.
To
Oh, Vance
Libby's leader.
teleported us there.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's why I said this
Yeah.
is his
Oh.
villain origin story.
Oh, he's more potent than I thought he was. Okay.
So, but yeah, he's sitting at the table with Saturn.
Oh, okay.
What's the town's name?
Redwater.
Am I the only one who wrote that down? Come on, people.
No, I wrote it
I
down.
did. I did.
I forgot to get like a pen and paper for notes, so just have to do that next time.
Redwater. Just like mirror that and you've got it right there. Double underlined.
I just heard you ask Dad. Here come the kids. What's up, buddy?
Nothing.
Okay. I don't believe you. Alright. Let's put in another.
So we know where we are. We know where we want it to be. What is the plan for how we get from Redwater to where we want it to be? We can
Quanell.
presume going down the river. We could go across land, or we could give Vance another try tomorrow to teleport us. But if he's going to keep smacking us around a little bit, I, for one, am not really in the mood to get slapped around by a big who can't control his own arcane magic.
What's the distance from here to there? Like, how far away is that?
That's about 2-week travel. Oh, baby girl?
Yeah.
Well, that overland?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm game to just let him do his thing again. It's a thing that happens.
Oh, I found it.
Sounds good to me.
Be
No,
careful,
It
please.
actually solidly has nothing to do with his spellcasting ability.
No, it has to do with Christian's terrible rolls.
We'll go ahead and keep Cora tucked away until we make it there.
I think it was a
Teleporting me
good roll.
has to be a challenge in and of itself anyway.
So that's 2 weeks of travel across land?
Correct.
Okay. What if we take the river?
It would shorten it by close to a week, because it does empty out into the sea.
I was going to say. We could take a boat down the river, or we could sail down the river and be there in a week. You want to
Or
do
we
that?
could be there tomorrow.
I say
That's
we
true.
give Vance another chance. If that doesn't work out, we'll boat.
Well, if it doesn't work out, I vote we keel haul him.
What?
No, I like him.
What does keel haul mean?
That's not.
You tie a rope from one side of the ship, you lower it underneath the keel, you then tie the person, and then you pull them from one side to the other.
Delicious! I love learning new ways to kill. Sorry, keel. Ha!
It will kill.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Marcada.
Very good. Okay, so we're staying here for the night?
Yeah.
Stay here for the night. Let Vance try again tomorrow.
Okay. Does anybody want to do anything before nightfall, before bed?
I go outside and dig a 10-foot deep hole somewhere that no one would care. I'm digging a 10-foot deep hole.
You can go on the outskirts of town and do that, no problem.
Sure.
Is
Ro-
this your fuck pit?
No.
roll a D100 for me, Eric, please. Your split from the musical genius that is you and this bard is 26 silver pieces.
Okay.
Okay.
Is the performer hot?
mediocre?
Darn.
Yeah, I would say mediocre at best. They're just really good at what they do.
Okay.
Isn't that the hottest thing ever?
They're a 5, but they play really well in the tavern and earn money.
At least a 6.
I'm really only interested in 9s and 10s.
Yeah, no, this person is not a 9. If you want to look for a 9 or 10, you can make a perception check.
Sure. Perception. Yeah, I'm on fire today.
Yeah, so as you are traveling through the town, looking for, 9 or 10, you come across a beautiful young man outside an establishment. And he says, "Greetings, friend. Are you looking for pleasure today?"
Sure.
"Well, then please, come on in." And you see that you are in front of a brothel.
Okay.
It says, "Welcome to the Molten Cashew, where all your fiery desires are taken care of." And you walk in, and it's just beautiful women, beautiful men all over the place. Probably about, I'd say, 8 in total. 4 and 4.
I'm looking
Do
this
any
up.
of them have a 20 charisma?
No.
None of them have 20 charisma?
No, not in this small little town.
Many of them have an 18 charisma.
I would say at least two would have a 17. One male, one female would have a 17.
Okay, then I don't care about any of them.
Fair enough. Okay.
That's my bar. That's my line.
That's your bar? Okay.
That's my line. Does anyone in the party have above an 18 or above charisma?
No.
I have that high in strength. I have a 20 in strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think anyone
Not an
is
answer.
charisma based.
I am.
Well, besides you.
I have a 13 in charisma.
Nope. Okay. Yeah, no. So I just go dig my hole, and then I go back. And I'm on it because I don't think I go to. No, I'm okay. Yeah, I'll go with it.
All right. Anybody else?
I'm gonna commune with my god or goddess.
Okay.
It's. Do you know the spell, or do you need to cast it? Link it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and link it.
All right.
Never hurts. Yeah, the 3 questions? Yes, okay. And who is your god or goddess?
So it's the knockoff Raven Queen. I haven't named her yet. If you want, I can just bring up something. It's technically Mood's aunt, if we establish that correct, Eric.
Oh, yes, I forgot
Yep.
about that. Okay.
First question is our target in Quinine?
You receive a very distinct raven squawk of no. So 1 squawk will be no, 2 will be yes. Generally speaking.
Okay. Is our target still alive?
2 squawks.
Is our target more powerful than the 6 of us put together?
You get a sense of unknown.
Okay, that's fair. I will thank my goddess, do my nightly rituals, and go to bed.
Okay.
How much was an inn for the night?
In for the night here is 1 gold piece a person.
Okay.
Mr. Warforged, you do anything before bed?
I want to try some rust water.
Okay. 5 silver pieces.
Yes.
You drink it. You have no taste buds.
Cool. Anything else from that?
Got a phone call.
I have to run and pick up Emma from work real quick. I'll be back in like 5 seconds.
Okay.
Is it
All right,
bad?
guys. Let's riff. Let's go.
Is it bad that I'm already preparing for when Vance fails?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I was looking at spells that could boost the way to get us there, but nothing I have can help with that.
Nope, it's a very fickle spell.
Well, I mean, if there are things you can do. I believe you pick up stones or something, or some piece
Yeah,
of
you can-
material from the
yeah.
location, and you can improve your chances of getting back there. So, um,
Well, if you have an object, it just auto works.
that's what I mean. So, like, if we were smart, someone would hand Vance a wine bottle from this place and go, "Here, don't lose this," or
Yeah, but it'll lose its potency after a while and become from wherever it's staying then. it's a weird balancing act of, at what point does this object come from there versus coming from the place that it's stored at.
I mean, that makes sense, and I can see that happening. So at
So-
some point, he'd have to make a round trip somewhere.
Yeah, but if they do that for a bunch of places, like this seems like some kind of like, even the place we're going, it's supposed to be similar to this place. It's some hodunk town in the middle of nowhere.
No, right, but I'm saying, but if it was like if he was traveling to the capital or something.
Well, that's what
someplace
their
important.
yeah, that's what their teleportation circles are for.
Okay.
And then that's how we can get back, because they got a teleportation circle in the probably in the guild hall, and that's how I can access that. So having that there lets them use lower level magics to teleport as well.
Arcane kind of guy. Never figured out how you wizardy bigs do things. You wiggle your little fingers and stuff happens. Oh, this is kind of big and boomy, but
I just kind of
Not
will
really
it to
my
happen. He kind of wiggles his fingers and has to study a book. As I point to
We
our
couldn't.
Vance.
We couldn't use that to teleport there in the first place.
No, his spell was the ability that would do that, which has some finicky stuff. My spell, I need to know basically like a phone number to be able to teleport to a specific circle.
Okay.
And then it only goes to that circle.
Okay.
It's basically a bullet train to wherever you've got the circle.
Yeah.
only
So
if
if
you
you
have seen the circle.
I need to know the number. I don't need to have seen the circle.
Okay, but I'm saying, okay, but if the bad guys, if Yago or Yavis or whatever his name is,
Hugo Chavez?
with Indas, if Indas, knew what the phone number, so to speak, as we reference,
Yep.
what was that?
He
Stargate,
could teleport right there if he has this level of magic.
or somebody could teleport him right there. They had the phone number, so to speak, from Stargate.
Yes.
Um,
That's
okay.
why usually you guard your teleportation circle. The entrance of it is usually, you should guard it like it's the outside.
Can
So
you guys hear my dog snoring?
Nope.
Okay.
I'd like to.
It's just a sweet little snore.
But so Clarence actually does the finger wavy explosions thing.
Oh, okay. Didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I have
let's-
Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Nice.
Which I'm just flavoring as like my fingertips opening up and I'm shooting missiles out of them.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay.
I haven't actually discussed that with Brandon, but yeah, it'll buff.
That sounds cool.
When do I ever discuss things with him?
Right.
Probably never.
No need to do that. That'd be ridiculous. And Mitchell, forgive me. What's the name of your character, Mitchell?
A Saturn.
Saturn. Okay. And
I thought it was Jupiter.
No,
Or is it Uranus?
what is your class?
a fighter. All fighter.
Anything else?
Nope.
Just straight fighter.
Yep.
Okay.
Bro, we should totally spar.
I mean, if you got spells, you'll probably end up on top at this level.
All right. And a mood other than being a powerful fey plant creature. Is there anything else that we should know about you by this time?
Powerful plant creature. Seems to be incredibly horny, but you haven't seen them do anything with anyone yet.
Oh well, we've been on several missions. Apparently, this is
I know.
one of our.
You haven't seen anyone meet his standards yet.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So, amorous, but fickle.
Except for the, well, you probably saw something different when we were talking to our leader. Other than that, no, you haven't seen anything. He's made a plant. He doesn't walk. He teleports as we walk.
I love it. I love it.
And most of the time, he's got a plant horse that also teleports.
Oh, that's cool.
But he put that away because he knew that teleportation would too many people.
Well, you're just the
love
Green Knight.
these.
Also, Mitchell, I am only 1 level in Warlock, so
Oh,
it would be pretty even.
yeah, probably.
All right, Vigo, I need a stealth check, please.
Second. Since I will also do what is that? Supreme Sneak. Like that for you.
Oh boy.
You get advantage while being stealthy.
Yeah.
Instead of rolling twice.
So 22 and 29, yeah. Yeah, you have a good feeling that you're not, that you're following him without them noticing you. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Let's see. Sleight of hand. Do I get advantage on this or not? Because I'll wait till he's distracted. Oh, party doesn't need no. Oh, this is me. So I'll wait till he's distracted. Will that give me advantage?
He's heading home, so I mean you can wait until they fall asleep potentially, but you got to break another house if you're doing that.
Yeah, this is like no. This is Nope. Okay, so.
So straight roll if you're just going for it. 16.
Well, if I rolled a 16 plus 12, that should be a 28.
No, you rolled a 4 plus 12.
Oh. Okay. What is the 22? How the hell is that?
So because you rolled with advantage on X, you didn't switch it.
I didn't. I never switched anything to advantage.
Yeah,
Oh, so-
with roll
Yeah.
advantage every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just okay.
You flip the gear and go to the right hand box, and there's a roll keys, and you can switch to advantage toggle.
Yeah, I can adjust it real quick. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Boom, done.
Or you can keep it that way and just always take that first number.
That's true.
If you just have a regular roll, you just always take the first number.
Alright, that's fine. Okay.
All right, so yeah, you're able to swipe their coin purse. Yeah, I got it, Mel.
Okay. I will count my spoils after I'm a distance away.
Okay.
Life is good for me. Thank you. And I will have. Let's see. Did somebody get a room for the night?
Yeah, I did.
Good. That's like I can pick the lock on that one. I'll let myself in. Find a nice comfy corner.
Okay.
I think me and the Warforged are gonna. I think when we sleep, we're just gonna stare at each other all night. We'll just be like.
Pretty much.
We both have the same rest mechanics.
Where we actually don't, you know?
Yep, we just sit there and just kind of stare at each other. We can talk.
I don't sleep, but I would like to make sounds of sleeping. Just. With eyes wide open.
Brandon, for the record,
Yes.
it is a flaw for Vigo to pick up. He picks up in pockets loose coins and other trinkets he comes across. So I'm not just being a jerk doing that. It's part of the character.
Cool. I didn't roll those.
I bring out Cora for the night.
Puppy.
Oh my god.
You have to make that it's not as a little bit more visible for stream if you're gonna.
The problem is, like, unless I go way over. I mean, I guess I could. Is that better, Mel?
Yeah, you can see it all now.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Not that I'm watching it. I just have it up.
No, I know. There's nothing that you can't see anyway. So right now.
Well, I'm gonna watch it just to get all the juicy information about this town.
There, I have it up for you for the juicy information on Redwater.
I don't care about the juicy information.
You just said you wanted to. All right. So, anyone else do anything before bed tonight?
Nope.
I've got nothing.
Okay. You go to rest for the evening. Very peaceful. No issues.
Hey, I go back to full health.
You wake up in the morning feeling refreshed.
What?
As you wake up in the morning, Vance is already in the downstairs of the tavern, eating. Looking really nervous about today.
Understandable.
I tell him it'll be all right. You got this.
This is my first time having to do this, so it's second now, so it's new to me.
Well, don't worry. You'll do better, or else you're going to be heel-hauled.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay, Vance, I have full faith in you. You're gonna get us where we have to go on the first try today. Nothing's gonna go wrong. No pressure whatsoever. Smooth as silk. You got this.
Why is that doing that? It's annoying. You get the idea, Mal.
No.
It's because of what you drank.
Oh. You had me do that before I even drank.
You drank wine from Mood, did you not?
Oh, okay.
It does
I'm
absolutely nothing, by the way. It's just it's a
just
flavor of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, what is this about?
Mood is also drinking that same wine and auto-failing the save.
Okay.
Whatever it is, that sounds fun.
Okay. I get it now.
He says, "Well, when you're all ready, we'll try this again."
Yeah, totally.
I'm putting Cora away.
I won't let you die. Does not mean I will not let them do whatever they want to you, though.
That's fair, but it's not my fault. Vigo, if you want to do the honors of the 100 roll, please.
Wait. Vigo will step over and wrap around Melisandre's leg today, because hanging on to Clarence didn't work out so well for him yesterday.
Blame the Warforged.
I'm very sad.
Oh, wow, we cannot get above 25.
Hey, at least we got in the double digits this time.
Oh my goodness gracious. Alright, so.
You take more damage.
He's really not good.
To be fair, you guys are the ones rolling it, not me.
Yeah, to be fair, I got almost
Just saying.
his rolls multiplied together.
Yeah, well, why aren't you doing it?
Because it's so much better when the players do it. And it goes off target or something like that. Like this one did. Alright. Alright. I need 2 people to roll d10s for me, please.
I want it. Oh no. Don't beat me to it.
Already done. Yeah, 3 and a
3.
1.
Okay. So,
I'm like, I have to find it. Where is it?
You
I
just
was
type in- you
I
can
was
type
tabbed
blend
out.
roll 1d10 if
The-
you want.
the good news is when the spell effect fades, you're not in a town, but you do see a town maybe a couple miles off in the distance. And Vance
Okay.
looks at it for a second and says, "That's Quani, we're close!"
But we're not
Alright.
there.
I got you close? For my second time, I think this is a success.
Yeah, no, that's actually probably better. I mean, do we really want to make our presence known by appearing in the middle of town?
Probably
I
not.
think it would be lovely.
I mean, we can still do that, but
Sleep here, even though you're 3 miles away. Teleport in the morning.
no, I mean, yeah, I mean, we could be right outside of town, and then I can teleport us.
No,
in
no,
there. It'll be
nope,
fun.
nope, nope. I've had enough of you bigs rearranging me and moving me around with your wiggly fingers. Nope, not gonna do it. Nope.
All right, I guess I can send Vance back.
That would be appreciated.
Yeah, okay.
Don't feel like you'd have to be accurate.
His spell is accurate.
His spell is always accurate.
Yeah, this one works. Yeah, I'll cast. I will cast
Yep, teleportation circle.
cast that up.
As you finish, Drangy says, "I'll make sure you are reimbursed," as he steps into the circle and disappears.
Yep. The circle looks like a bunch of plants growing out of me that just form runes and circles around the thing, and then it steps through me into the portal.
Okay. And Vance disappears.
And if he, I think Vance would probably be the only one that would notice. I didn't have to use any gem to cast that spell.
Yeah, he would have noticed. So he would not have said what he said as he was leaving.
Well, I just assume that you're a cool dude.
Yeah, that takes a bit out of me, but yeah.
Also, I would like to pick Vigo up.
Are you picking him up by the scruff of his neck like a cat?
Yeah.
Vigo, we've talked about this in the past.
You're Vigo.
All right, Clarence, we've talked about this. One does not pick up a proper-sized person this way. It is undignified.
Yeah, I like the big words. But you said something funny earlier. Something about us bigs and our wiggly fingers picking you up?
Uh-huh.
I can do it!
You're not supposed to. It's not polite. But I wouldn't
But-
expect a big to understand that.
But your friend.
We are friends.
Supposed to pick up friend.
You assist a friend.
Yes,
Friend asks to be picked up. Don't pick up a friend by the back of his jacket like this. It's undignified.
but it's funny.
Clarence, put me back on the ground, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Just go lower down.
I can see this conversation happening at least twice a week.
Oh, yeah.
I plan to let it happen.
Mental note. Introduce Clarence to the nearest rust monster.
A friend?
Snuggle buddy.
I'll give him a big ol' hug.
So once again, I turn and look at our ranger lady and go, what's up, boss?
Well, I'm gonna let Cora back out now.
How big is Cora? And
About
what color is she
medium-sized.
today?
She's red right now. She's her fire drake self. And she's
Oh.
medium.
Well,
She's got her wings. She can't. We can ride her, but she can't fly with us riding her.
Okay. So when you say medium size, you're talking bull mastiff, you're talking Labrador retriever, you're talking horse.
Medium size is it's a 5 foot square, so it's like the size of a person Or a mastiff, because they're also good size.
That's what I'm asking. So full
Alright.
mastiff, or are we talking horse, or what are we talking here?
Horse
Great
is large.
Dane.
The horse is large.
Yeah, so a horse would be too big.
So the shambling mountain that I
Yeah.
summoned is large.
So basically, as far as dragons are concerned, she's a proper sized dragon.
It's like a worm.
Yes.
That's why I like Cora so much.
Yes. In fact, if you'd like to, Vigo, you can ride her so that you don't have to walk.
Oh,
the
I
full
would be honored
distance.
to do so, but of course, does she have a preferred snack? What does Cora like to eat?
Halflings.
Well played.
That's a very well played. Well played. I think that's the 4th time you've made that joke.
But it's a joke.
Miss Melisande,
Yeah,
can I pet Cora?
if you're gentle.
I can be gentle. I'm just gonna gently pet Cora.
I move away from Cora before Clarence steps on me.
I would never. I pick you up, but I watch out for
How
my
about
little friend.
fish? Fish is her favorite snack.
Wonderful. Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome.
I'm just gonna pet Cora, going, "Who's a good girl? Who's a pretty lady?"
So what's the plan? Are we walking into town? We have a little distance to travel here, or are we going to camp out for the night, or what's our plan?
No, yeah, let's walk to the done.
You all right there?
No.
I think you saw the meme.
I pick things up, I put them down. Alright, yeah, so you guys start heading to town. Maybe anybody want to do anything on the journey? I figured most of this dialogue was happening on the trip to town.
Yeah.
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 Nope, I'm just on my big plant monster creature.
Your warhorse shambling mound?
Yep.
Cora's a lot
Right.
prettier than that is.
Or because the offer was made, and I would not want to insult her by not accepting the offer. Plus, I figure by this time it's probably happened a few times.
Yes. You and Cora are very good with each other. She likes you.
Question:
No.
do dragons purr?
Mel? Does your dragon purr?
She kind of does like a growl purr.
Okay, is it like an alligator kind of growl? Just
Or a cough. Gators don't growl, they cough.
they hiss.
Yeah.
There's a hiss and a cough, but it's not a growl.
I mean, yeah, but a growl is a good colloquial term for it.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, she just kind of purr growls. Parents.
Alright. You guys make your way after a few hour travel to... Are you trying to see how long it takes before I put you in a timeout channel?
I plead the fifth. I'm just marking the time for posterity.
Okay. Yeah, after a few hours, you guys make your way to the outskirts of Quanning.
Wait, we were. How far away were we? Only 3 miles?
3 miles.
And it took us a few hours to walk 3 miles.
Yep. I think overworld travel is what? 10 miles in a
What?
day? What's overworld travel technically?
2 to 3 miles an hour, and then we can go fast for. I think you can get like 24 miles in a day, and then you can get like 36 if you go fast.
Oh, I thought it was less than that. So yeah, so about an hour and a half maybe.
It's like 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour ish.
Yeah. We'll say it took you an hour and a half. 1 hour 30 minutes.
Okay.
That's what Christian was
Well-
marking down.
Mel, way to call him out on that. Good job.
I mean, yeah, it's not that far.
But yeah, you guys are on the outskirts of Quanning. What do you want to do?
Okay, so we believe that our target is Iendus. We think he's in this town somewhere.
He's not in the town.
Yeah, you were informed that he was close to the town. This town is where the drop-off point was originally.
He's
Okay.
He's somewhere outside it. I've asked my madam about it, and she informed me that he was outside the town. I still think it is helpful if we go in and to talk to people, see what we can glean from them. But I think we should just at least prepare for just get some information from around the town before we go trotting off and looking for him.
Yeah, we don't. We're supposed to observe.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
No problem with observing. Scouting out your target is always a good plan to move forward on. So, Melisande, remind me if you would, and also Mood, since we're looking for a creature in the wilds, and supposedly this guy has a large black dragon, is there anything that either Mood as a land creature or Melisande, do you have anything that allows you to figure out if there's dragons in the area besides Cora? I mean, you be able to sense something? Because I've heard some of you foresty types can do that sometimes, or we talk to plants and find out things like that.
Yes. I can do. Go ahead.
I have speak with plants as one of my spells,
As do I.
and I also have speak with animals.
I don't have that. But I do have an ability. I have a very good tracking ability, so I can be a help.
Oh, I have beast sense also.
Oh,
I can be a help for our ranger.
Maybe that one. Let's see.
what
Or maybe
does
can I-
that do for us?
Can I put
Yeah, I
it
can-
on the ranger?
Pop it in there.
Yes, I can make our ranger incredibly good at tracking. But we have to find some tracks first.
Oh, that's touch of willing beast.
Okay, so
Mel, what's your favorite enemy?
Favorite what?
Enemy.
Enemy?
Yes.
as a ranger, you
Did they get rid of that?
favorite type of enemy.
They,
Oh.
No, it's still there.
It's still a thing.
All right,
She
hold
mu-
on.
well, she might have taken the other option, the one that's better. But I don't know.
Let's see. I remember. I'm not seeing it on here. Let's see. I think it's in my. Where would I find that on my character sheet?
It's one of the abilities for your ranger.
Yeah, it'd be like on the bottom right of your character sheet.
Oh, the features and traits.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, right here. Okay. Oh, it doesn't look like it's listed. Hold on. I have my other one pulled up on D&D Beyond. I know I remember going through it. Here we go. Alright, humanoids
Okay.
and undead. We got humans, goblinoids, draconic, undead, goblin.
You have dragons as a favorite enemy?
No, I think it's the language.
Oh.
Oh, is that what that is there?
Yeah, she gets the language from the background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. So humanoids, goblinoids, undead. Yes, that's right. That's what it is. I don't. Yeah, we had to tweak the tweak the other
Dragonborn
sheep.
considered humanoids, or are the humanoids considered like giants and things?
Giant is giant, but
Yeah, humanoids are like us, like bandits and mercenaries. And...
but she specifically has
Well, like-
humans
like you big.
and goblins.
Oh, I thought you said undead.
She also has undead. She has
And
humans,
then-
goblins, and undead, right?
Hmm.
That leaves me out. I'm good with that.
But it is one of our targets.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, now you had speak with animals. So, if you found a bird that you could talk to, and either you or Mood could convince a bird to help us out,
Mhm.
then if you cast Beast Sense on a willing bird, could the bird fly around and scout?
I guess that probably could work.
Is that something that would work? I mean, somebody else tell me if I'm crazy. I don't understand the little wiggly finger stuff where you know.
Sure, we could. We could ask a woodland animal if they've seen anything. But I mean, I think the
Yeah,
flying
because
dragon might be
limited to
better
their
scout, right?
intelligence.
Yep. Well,
Yes.
okay. Yes.
Oh yeah, we have Cora fly around.
We have Cora, but my thought is that if Cora's flying around and they see Cora, didn't we kind of tip our hand? Versus if they see an eagle or a hawk or a bunch of sparrows flying around, that's just something you'd see around a forest. And this pollen's giving me problems because I'd really rather be underground delving into something, but that's okay. So I'm just saying,
Sure, I
great
mean,
to have Cora. It'd be
yeah.
great to have Cora scout, but we're kind of tipping our hand and letting them know, hey, there's a red dragon in the area.
True.
Well, aren't they going to try to capture it and enslave it?
Right.
That's
So
Yeah,
like I
like
said,
a good bait.
well, maybe once we know where they are, then we can use that to our advantage. But I think my thought is the initial scout, you don't want to let them know you're looking at them.
Yeah, that's very true.
If at some point, even in my profession, there are times when yes, I want them to see me looking at them because that means I can direct their attention in one direction. But that's the distraction, whereas the real, assault is going in another way. But that's when I've scouted the area and we put together the plan for the heist. I don't want to let them know that I'm there initially, because if I don't see them, but they see me, that blows the whole concept. And they either move, or they change everything, or they do crap that I don't want. Then I got to deal with a tougher, a tougher heist to crack. So
Sure, but we can make it so that they can't see Cora.
okay, that's something else. Again, I'm not a wiggly finger kind of guy. So if you big skin wiggle fingers and make things disappear, which I know you can do, it happens. Saw it not happen, or actually saw it happen, but didn't see it. Anyway, but that's you can do that. That's great. That's all that. So I'm just tossing out ideas for possible. How do we pull off this scouting mission without tipping our own hand?
I think the first thing is we go to town and try not to make the biggest entrance in the world when we go into town, but that might be.
Because the largest plant creature and the great big walking metal man.
Yep. As small impact as possible.
Relative terms for big. Okay.
I mean, again, they don't have to see the big metal man and the giant plant creature. Even though I know a lot of people, it would shame them if they didn't see me.
They deserve to see me.
Now, so here's a question. So, do we have a cover story for why we're here, or are we just going to tell them, hey, we're here looking for a big bad guy? Or do we need to be here for a different reason so that we don't look suspicious? Or if there's someone in town working for the big bad guy, because, maybe they've got spies or they've got an agent in the area, and we come in, hey, we're looking for him, then that person sends a message, and now the big bad guy knows about us, and we didn't realize we tipped our hand, so...
Are adventurers common or even uncommon? Do they exist? Because that we could just go in full bore and just be like, we're adventurers.
They exist. The TOV actively recruits strong individuals for their goals. It's not like you guys need to hide yourselves. You are on the continent that is essentially the safe haven for members of the TOV.
Are there other adventurers that aren't members of the TOV?
I would say probably.
Okay. Are they common enough to not be like it's a 50-50 chance whether they're TOV or other adventurers?
I would say probably.
Okay, then we
Like
can go in and do
there's mercenaries that people hire.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
it's
saying.
not a land without crime. So
Right. So I mean,
it's
we
just
could use that as a thing.
it's just this land is safer than the northern continent due to the dragon slavers.
Yeah, I think my thinking is that we're probably flashy enough walking into a town that word might get to those people, and it's the question of does adventurers in a town trigger them to do something? Because if they automatically assume we're TOV, that'll trigger them to do something. Versus, could this just be a band of adventurers that have entered the town?
Right. So okay, that I like your thought there, Mood. But I'm tossing ideas out. Everybody else jump in because we're all big team here. Do we need to come up with like a fake team name?
I mean,
So, hey, we're
Did we ever come up with a real team name?
Can our fake team name be the Friends?
no. But I mean,
Why not?
Well, hold on. We got to have something. So I mean, it's cool if we're like, hey, we're the company of the blue spear, but we don't have a blue spear. So Silas has a staff bell on it, right?
Yes.
Did I hear that, Silas? Am I correct? If Silas is back?
I don't think Silas is back yet.
Okay, so he's okay. But what if we're like the company of the silver bell?
Okay, I mean, that's as good as anything.
Or whatever color the bell is, on the staff. So we already have the thing, and we're here to.
Yeah, that's solid.
We're mercenaries or whatever, and we're looking for work. But,
Yeah, no, that's solid.
and we don't have to mention we're part of TOV. So just thinking, sometimes you don't want to always advertise who you work for. Not that I ever learned that from.
what are we? Company of the Silver Bell?
Yeah, that's a good
The bell on
name.
Silas's staff.
That's our fake name, right?
Yes, that's the fake name.
Okay.
Yeah, that's solid. I do think we should hide Cora.
I was thinking that. I was like, I just took her out. I should probably put her back. Or just have her stay out in the woods.
Oh, but if something sees her, then that also gives us away. I love having her out because trust me, Vigo loves riding. But,
All right.
there you go. Perfect. Thank you, Melisande, for typing that up. Okay. So we're a mercenary company of the Silver Bell, and Mood, you're a great talker.
I'm making that name stick.
It's the fake name.
Yep.
So there you go. Okay, so I feel more comfortable walking in because I never like playing laying the cards on the table up front. That's to me, it's never a good thing. You always want to keep something back, keep something to shadows a little bit. Something small. Don't let them know everything you got up front. So
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's solid.
okay. So with that out of the way.
We could probably get to town.
Vigo will take out his. What's the weather like right now?
Sometime along the way, I dug another hole.
How fast are you able to dig the holes?
I can dig a 10-foot hole in 12 seconds.
Okay.
Hold up.
Uh-huh.
That has potential.
It does. But, question. I would have asked this beforehand. Why do you keep digging the holes?
Do you really want to know?
Well, we've been journeying for a while, so this would have been a history question that would have been asked about the third time you dug a hole.
And I would have said, "Do you want to touch the beaver?" And I pull out a wooden beaver.
Nope.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Then,
Yes. Yes.
You want to touch the beaver?
Yes.
Okay. I let you touch the beaver.
I am now fey touched.
And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, I can't do those. 12.
No. You are teleported into the hole.
Oh.
Into
And then
the
put the
hole.
beaver away.
That's the purpose of the hole.
That's the purpose of the hole. So we're like, I'm digging the hole. You asked the question as we're walking. I was like, "You want to touch the beaver?" No. He touches the beaver, and then he's over there. I was like, "Why am I in the hole?"
Ah.
Yep.
Send down
There's
something for me to fight.
There's also
Yes.
a bottle of wine in the bottom of the hole.
There's a what?
Bottle of wine in the bottom of the hole.
I'm gonna
And
throw
a
it.
cupcake.
I'm gonna throw the bottle of wine out.
Okay. You chuck a bottle of wine out of the hole.
Yeah. Brandon, you're having a field day, aren't you, buddy?
I'm enjoying this. I'm letting you guys do your thing. It's all good. Are you
Let's
staying in
go
the hole?
Town.
He has to get out of the hole first.
That's why I asked him if he's staying in the hole.
It's only 10 feet deep. You can reach up and pull the stuff up from that.
you know what? I'll get out of the hole.
Silas, you missed Christian being teleported into the hole
By touching a beaver.
by touching a beaver.
By touching a wooden beaver.
You touch the beaver, you go in the hole. That's all I'm saying.
Beaver? I hardly even know her.
Silas,
guys
were
also
able to
know-
listen in while we were discussing that while you were AFK.
Yeah. So, what color is the bell on your staff, Silas?
And you're muted. We don't hear anything.
Sorry. What is like? Okay, yep, nope, that's me. That's my cue. I'm gonna be leaving. Goodbye, guys. It is a silver bell.
Okay. Perfect.
Very
Damn, I'm good.
Christmassy.
Damn, I'm good. Okay.
You
Did
guys
you hear
do-
the whole discussion about the fake name, Silas?
No, it's not.
All right. So to recap,
I'll be right back.
um, Mood and Melisande were trying to figure out what wiggly finger stuff they could do to help us kind of scout the area with some friendly critter creatures. And I mentioned, Vigo mentioned that we might not want to go into town as, hey, we're representatives of the TOV and we're here to do work, because that might send a message to our target, and he may either leave the area or prep to for a fight with us or something like that. So we had to come up with a fake name for our group of non-TOV uh, adventurers. So we've come up with a mercenary company of the Silver Bell, because you have a Silver Bell on your staff, and we're going to go into town and try to find work. But that's our cover story for why we're in town. In the meantime, Mood dug a 10-foot deep pit and offered a wooden beaver to Clarence. And when Clarence touched it, he wound up teleported into the pit. And that's pretty much it. So you're caught up.
I think the meme
Okay,
explained the
thanks
last
for that.
fine.
Yep. No, that's easy enough. I will talk as little as needed, but do you think is this area hostile to us at all, or to anybody at the TOV?
No, because we're on the southern continent, and that is supposed to be friendly territory to the TOV.
The natives aren't hostile, but we know there's a hostile force around.
Suspect
Okay.
that. We're here to see if there is a hostile force. We don't know it for sure.
I thought someone
Okay.
asked our deity, and they said they were in the area.
They're
They
in the
think they're
area.
Yeah.
They're in the area, but they're not in the town. I can ask
Right.
3 more questions when I go to bed. If you want to be included in those questions, you're more than happy to aid me in my practices. So, that
All right, I'm
being
back.
said, I think you're correct. I think if we could even get maybe a day job here to go figure out some things that are bothering these people, we could maybe see if there's other groups vying for work as well.
And we're only here for a week, so we can't get too long term into any kind of projects. But
No,
no,
no.
no, it would add to the thing. We're just we're between jobs, or we're looking for some work as an adventuring company in the local area, kind of stuff.
Clearing up rats from somebody's basement.
That works fine. You know, so something we can do. But no, great. But that's why we're going to call ourselves the Company of the Silver Bell, because of you.
Sounds great.
Okay, cool. And then Mood is going to sweet talk anybody we bump into. Is the plan right now. Okay. Anybody else want to do anything, or we continue forward now?
I'm fine. Do we need to help Clarence out of the hole?
No, it's only 10 feet deep.
Clarence can more than scramble out himself.
Okay.
Okay. I think we are at the edge of town, Mr. DM.
Perfect. Yeah. So, as you enter town, you see it's not as busy as Redwater. But basic history of Quanning would let you know that it never really was a busy town. There are definitely people milling about. There are all your basic amenities here. What do you guys want to do?
I want to find an inn.
You want to
Or a
find
tavern.
an inn?
Probably an inn. We need a place to stay.
Vigo would like to look around and see if there is maybe a blacksmith or a just regular merchant or somebody who might have some. Hey, we need some help. Maybe talk to the let's say the hostler where they board horses. See if anybody has come into town recently and maybe left some horses, or maybe even ask about jobs that are needed for adventuring parties.
Okay. Yeah. So the inn here, which doubles as a tavern, is a Slippery Inn. It's not a lot of patrons in there. It's kind of like I don't want to say downtrodden mood in there, but it's times are rough, So drinking is what they do. For blacksmith, you said?
Blacksmith, or if there's somebody running local stables, carriage house, rents out horses, but someplace you check your horses in if you were coming in town and stay for a day or two. Or blacksmith, whichever one is more convenient and easier to find.
Probably if you're looking on the outskirts, the easier thing to find would be the stables.
Okay. Vigo will tilt his hat to the left to a jaunty angle, and put a little extra spring in his step as he walks up to the the stables.
All right. You do see that there's a sign that says Delena Stables. Let me copy paste that for you so you can see it. Boom. Yeah. So there is a young boy kind of tending to the horses. As you
proper size big.
Which says, greetings, sir.
Greetings, young proper size big. And how are you today?
Busy, my lord.
Oh no. I'm just a simple man about town. No. My friends and I were just arriving, and were wondering if any other adventuring parties had been through recently. Have you seen other groups of well-armed, dashing bravos coming through?
Not that I've dropped off horses, sir.
Oh, okay. Uh, well, let's see. And any other things? Is there any jobs around town that we could do? We're quite handy and hardy ourselves.
Oh, I'm not sure. I just tend to these horses. My pay is to live here, so I don't really do a whole lot otherwise.
What's your name, young proper size Jake?
I haven't been given one yet, sir.
Haven't been given a name? Everybody has a name. My name is Silk.
Well, pleasure to meet you, sir. But unless they live to see 15 passings, then we don't get named.
15 passings. Oh my God. Well, how many passings have you seen, young?
13. I'm 2 away.
13 and 2 away. Oh, huh. We should call you Triss
Triss?
or Dose. Tell you what, we'll call you Dose. How about
Dose?
that? We'll nickname you Dose. It's a nickname. Nicknames are just things that friends call you. My friends call me Silk. You can call me Silk. Dose, would you like to call me Silk?
Sure, my lord.
Or Silk. Come on. You can say it, Silk.
Sure, Silk, my
Silk.
lord.
Don't say my lord. That's okay. We're working on this one. Okay. All right, Dose. Okay, so listen. Who is Delena?
Galena? Oh, she is a horse of legend.
Uh-huh. What is the legend of Delena?
That she carried a rider across the whole continent to help save the rider's wife. It was a beautiful love story.
I see. And did she come from these stables?
No, my lord. They're named after her. I mean Silk, my lord.
Silk, just Silk. It's just Silk. We're doing okay. You're learning. All right, come on, Dose. You can get this right. All right. So who owns the stables?
That would be my master, sir. You see him get real nervous at the mention of the
Stable owner?
yes.
Uh-huh. Okay. How big is this kid?
He's just a little bit taller than you. He's looks like he's like the runt of the litter, so to speak.
Okay. And is the horse he's dealing with tied up, or is he, presume he's brushing it, or was he cleaning out, mucking out stables or something?
He was brushing the horse and kind of like dealing with like any dirt and whatnot in the horseshoes.
Okay. All right. So the horse is tied up. Okay. Well, listen. I'll walk up and I'll slap on the back and I will sleight of hand palm him a couple of coins because he's my friend, and that's what you do with your friends. Sleight of hand.
Yep. Yeah. He kind of like looks at you questioningly at first, and says,
My friend, listen, you got to get a better horse brush because you got to take care of it. You're doing a great job with these horses. I'm really, really impressed by you. Not many bigs can take care of a horse the right way. You guys all look down at horses. It's really, really bad. So listen, where's your master? And what's your master's name?
My master Zayn is inside. Just Silk, my lord.
Dose, you're a funny guy. I like you, Dose. You're a funny guy. All right. So I palmed him a silver piece.
Okay.
Yeah, make it do so. Okay. Because I got that kind of cash. I just came across a bunch of silver somehow that appeared. So he's inside. All right. Well, listen. Okay. Well, you hang out here, and I'm gonna go have a quick chat with Zayn, and keep doing the good work. You're doing a great job, and I'll jauntily walk off. Because you got to keep that rakish tilt to your cap, and I'll try to go find Zayn.
Okay. Yeah. You enter the stables, and behind the counter, you see kind of a portly-looking gentleman. Says, welcome to Galena Stables. I'm Zayn, the owner. What can I do for you, sir?
Zayn, how are you? Nice to meet you today. My name is Silk, and I represent the party of the Silver Bell, Company of the Silver Bell, and we are a traveling group of adventurers here in town just arrived, and we are looking for employment. Is there anything in town that you need help with? We're fantastic. We've got some really powerful people, really know their stuff. It's amazing what they do. Reasonable rates, no fee is too big, no job is too small. We're good to go. How can we help you today?
You can muck out my stables because my stable boy is a worthless piece of crap.
Are you Dose? He's a great guy. What are you talking about?
It takes forever.
He's doing a fantastic job. What? I don't think you pay him enough.
Well, that's my business, ain't it?
Dad, you like just
It is, and it's not on me to tell you
What
what
are you,
to
baby?
do in your place in stables.
one
So,
block.
how many horses can you stable here?
Um,
Bigs all think you need a bigger place. I don't,
Go in the basement and look on
Proper size
Daddy's
people?
nightstand. There might be a double block on there.
First, Mom.
Okay. Sorry, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. Got to be a dad first. Dad and family come first, always. So do you have stables for proper size people, or just for you bigs?
I could get you a little pony, I'm sure.
Now see, Zane, that means you're trying to get on my good side. All right, so come on, let's take a quick tour around here because let's walk around, see what we got. And again, is there any other big parties that have come through recently? Is there competition we might have to deal with as far as getting good jobs?
Not to my knowledge, there's not a whole lot going on in this little piss poor town, but I was actually thinking about maybe moving shop.
Really? Where would you be moving to?
Maybe Redwater. They get a lot more trading and business up there.
Oh, well, Redwater's a fine place. Ordinary fared in. Recently been there myself. Very tasty ale. So recommend it. Got to watch out for that bard who plays there, though. He plays a lot of music. Doesn't seem to make a lot of cash for some reason. Anyway, but he said, but good people. And so, anything weird happened around town recently? Any big monsters, in the area? Something stalking through the woods that needs to be hunted down or killed? You got bear problems. You got too many deer, and somebody got not have enough deer. Wolves crowding out, killing the local sheep and the anything like that.
If you're looking for venturing work, you're gonna want to go see the mayor.
Thank you very much. Perfect, Jane. Listen, for your time and trouble, I'll slip him two silver pieces.
Appreciate it.
Not a problem. I'd reach up and slap him on the bar, but I can't reach that high on the top of his counter because it's not proper size for proper size people. So anyway, okay. So, all right. Well, now I know to go see the mayor. I'll turn around, walk around, and wonder why all my bigs have left me alone.
All right.
I would have waited outside the stable for you just to listen in on your conversations to make sure you didn't get in trouble.
I mean, I thought we were also heading over to the inn too, no? Or did we already?
Let's go to
walk
town,
past
and the
that?
first thing
That's
we
what
found
I'm
was
doing.
the stables.
Yeah, that's what Mood is doing.
Yeah, I'll go with him. I'll go with Mood.
Oh, I mean, well, come back out and see if there's anybody who waited for me because I know Mood was headed for the inn or the tavern. But we'll split the party and try to find out information. How's that? Make the DM happy.
It's not as effective when you're not in a dungeon.
I love a good dungeon crawl. I mean, I'm really at home there. I gotta tell you, Beagle loves anything more. It's a good dungeon crawl. Really, really creeping around in little places. Great for the spirit. It's like I'm built to do that kind of stuff. But worked well for me. Okay, so hey, so I'll adjust my hat back to normal and walk back to the party and go. Well, the big fat big in there said we should go talk to the mayor for what adventuring work around the area. He didn't say anything weird or weird sightings or any of the big creatures roaming around the forest, but I think the mayor's probably our best bet. What do you think?
Sounds like it. Sounds like a good idea.
They don't move until 15 turning, and that's Dose over there because he's 13
Where'd you
turning
put
in,
it?
and
It's
so he's got 2 to go.
Gotta find
I
it.
called him.
That's okay. It seems like you've come into some cash recently. You've tied the church, correct?
Tithe?
Yes.
I mean,
We can take care of it once we get back to.
you think the mayor's
ahead.
around here someplace?
I'm sure if we ask around, we could find.
I'm gonna
Just go to
roll
the.
a
Go ahead.
I'm gonna roll a history to see if I know any more about this place in my travels.
Yeah, go ahead. Ooh.
Ooh.
Nice.
Very nice.
Okay.
Golf clap.
So, as far as the history of this town goes, it's very controversial. The building of this town. It is rumored to have been built on an old burial pit. Whether or not it's true or not, nobody knows for sure. Nothing has seemed to have come up, but there are stories and legends that ghosts haunt the town at night. So it becomes a literal ghost town at night. Nobody in the streets. People tend to shy away from Quaning because of the rumors of it. More recently, you would know that the mayor of town is a human gentleman by the name of Alias. And when you came through, there was a few families like packing up and moving and just heading north out of this town. Because this town is kind of, for lack of a better term, forsaken.
Okay.
Sounds like the kind of place Silas wants to be.
How much do you share with the party?
Oh, I'm
The
sorry.
real question.
I share it all.
Guys, we should just like make camp here, and we should do some investigations, and we should. Guys, why are you looking at me like that? This is reasonable stuff we could gather some information from. Okay, yes, I understand. Anyway, if we go to the mayor, at least we can spend one night here and see the ghosts.
Why don't we talk to the mayor first? I like the idea of talking to the mayor. It just seems like something we should do, and find out what kind of big problem the Bigs have here.
We have ghosts, and we can talk to the ghosts. We can talk to any of the dead here.
Again, there's that royal we again. Not something I'm really doing, but that's fine. So, okay. If you want to talk to the ghost, Silas, I mean, that's your thing, dude. And I got no problem with that. Well, I got a problem if you want me to talk to you, but anyway, that's your thing, then. You do it because you've done it before, so, okay, but let's talk to the mayor first while the sun's still up. And Taylor's still smiling down on us. Is that reasonable?
Reasonable.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. See, life is good. Okay, so go find the mayor.
Let's go find
I'm
the
coming. Where are you? Right here. Oh, you found it? Lucky to have a brother.
Guys.
So looking for the mayor.
All right. Yes.
Or did
Not-
you want to go to the inn first? Smash cut over to the inn if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say while you guys are there, what are you doing at the inn mood?
So I get to the inn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna enter the inn and go to the bartender and be like, I need rooms for 6? And again, I'm not walking. I'm always just.
Yeah. Do you want 6 rooms or 1 room for 6 people? How do you want to do this?
I think 2 rooms would be sufficient.
2 rooms will cost you 1 gold piece, sir.
Okay, yeah, I'll give him a gold piece. Anyone I see as I've been going through town and in here spark my interest.
Unfortunately, no. This town is quite a literal ghost town.
Okay.
So
I will
none
also
that
ask
hit your charisma.
I will also ask him for a drink and if he's seen anyone as spectacular as me lately.
A drink will cost you 2 copper pieces.
Yep.
And he says, as spectacular as you? My friend, you are one of a kind. I've never seen anything like you at all.
That is very true. Anyone that, like, definitely would stand out in a crowd.
As far as standing out goes... Nope. It should charge.
It doesn't. It's not turning on.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Mom just got me these new headphones.
Sorry. As spectacular as you know, the closest is there was I don't want to say odd, but a strange looking elf not that long ago. Maybe 3 days past at this point. Came in very proud and full of himself. He was asking about the origins of the town, which I thought was a little odd. Not many people care. You good, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah, not many people care about the origins of Kwaning. So I thought it was odd that he was asking about it. But he seemed a strong fellow. Had plate armor on and shield and a big old spear across his back. You good, Si?
Yeah. It just makes a lot of clinky noises.
Yeah. Just want to make sure you're okay. As far as besides him, yeah, no.
Did he stay in town or did he leave?
He did rent a room for a night. And he kept talking to himself. It was really weird.
Okay. And then he left the next day?
Yes.
Okay.
So this was 2 days ago he left now?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Have you seen anything, like, monstrous in the area lately?
What do you mean monstrous, sir?
Big, dangerous, abnormal.
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Rumor has it there's ghosts at night, but anyone smart enough doesn't go out at night.
Okay. Thank you for your time. I will finish my drink and then go. I'll ask the bartender. Do you have a library or maybe like a town hall that keeps records?
Yeah, there should be something at the town hall. I don't know how well they keep on records. Pay my taxes like a good citizen.
Of course. Why wouldn't you? Can you tell me where that is?
Yeah, of course. And he'll direct you. He'll tell you where the mayor's house is, because that's pretty much where the town records are kept.
Okay. I will head in that direction.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay behind and nurse my drink.
Okay.
I'll tell you that I'm going to go follow up the historical. He's asking about the historical reference of the town, so maybe the people over there have more information on it.
Yeah, my plan is to stay here and see if any characters of interest kind of wander through on their way to their rooms.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to head to the mayor's house, I guess.
All right. Saturn, perception check for me. Anyone else do anything that I didn't hit already? All right, perfect. Vigo, as you're heading to the mayor's office, you do see a blacksmith forge. That the sign says "Mind over metal."
Who is with me at the moment?
I am.
Melisande, always happy to have you around. But where's Clarence?
I think Clarence is
Clarence, you
AFK.
there?
He probably fell asleep.
Probably.
I think Silas was with you too, unless I'm mistaken.
Yes, I am.
Okay, Silas. So, Silas, you look more like a metalworking kind of guy than I do, don't you?
I mean, I just have my armor. That's about it.
Well, there's a lot
What
more
do you
metal than I
need?
care to wear around. So, you want to go talk to the blacksmith and see what happens? See if you can find out anything that he may have seen around?
I can talk to them and see what happens. And so I'll just wander up, just looking over. It's like, good day, good sir.
Oh, good morning. Whoa, one sec, please. He quickly finishes what he's doing, dunks it in some oil. Says, "All right, what can I do for you?"
Looking for some information about somebody who might have bought your wares a few days ago. Did a dragonborn come through here by any chance?
I vaguely remember seeing one not too terribly long ago. A couple days, actually.
Like, it's like one of those things, like, begrudgingly, I know what I need to do. Like, I go through the motions. I go, scrunch through my pockets, find a silver coin, flick it to him. Can you tell me more?
Yeah. Something was off about him. I don't know. It's yes, you say dragonborn, but it doesn't. It was like looking at something that I don't know that just messes with your mind. It was an eerie. But yeah, he strode through town, took a look at my wares, scoffed, and walked off towards the tavern. So he didn't really talk to me, but it was insulting nevertheless. I think I put out good quality work.
I'm gonna just look at it, like, glancing at it, I'm sure it's fine work.
Yeah, it's nothing you need, but it's good quality work. But it's more for like everyday thing like tools and things like that.
These make good sturdy tools, just to be proud of your work. A good day's work is always a good reward. A humble man.
Thank you. I take great pride.
You should take great pride. You only have so many days above this earth. You should be prideful in every moment. That being said, I'll probably go talk to the inn. Do you know which way he left from town?
No, I do not. I don't know what happened to him after he left my company.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. As I walk off, there's like no proper circumstance behind it.
Okay.
So at least we know that he's been here, and it's probably going to be best if we go to the inn and remind those people what they saw.
Okay. Look up at Melisande and go, what do you think? Melisande on the
Do that
kneecap.
instead of going to the mayor?
Well, I still think we should go to the mayor first, but we can always go back and meet with everybody else later.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yep, sounds good to me.
So, did we asked where the mayor's house was? Or did we just figure it's the biggest house in the place?
You did ask where it was, and you were pointed to it by the stable owner.
Name?
Zayn.
Name.
And he
Zayn.
told you that the mayor's name was Alias. Alius.
Correct. Got that. Okay, thank you. Okay, onward.
Alright, you're heading to the inn or you're heading to the mayor's house?
Vigo keeps his hat tilted to a jaunty angle and puts that extra little bounce in his step as we head off to the mayor's house.
Okay. You actually run into Mood as you're heading to the mayor's house. Well, try to run into Mood, but he kind of like blinks around. And
I'll ask you, did you find out anything? We seem to be going in the same direction.
Well, we found out that there haven't been any other big parties recently that have dropped off horses here, and the stable master didn't know anything. He did ask. He did say if we wanted a job, we could muck out the stables. But I think his small big dose is probably able to handle that job. He suggested we go to the mayor's house to talk about any adventuring kind of work, like hunting bears or hunting boars or wolves in the local area, and maybe find better news that way. And then Saturn had a great little chat with the blacksmith. Former fellow, who did mention a silver dragonborn had come in, scoffed at his wares, and then walked off to the inn. What did you find out at the inn?
I found out that they haven't seen any dragons or anything. That would have been on the tip of their tongue. But they did see a heavily armored elf pop into the inn, wielding a large spear and plate armor. And he was looking for information on the history of the town. So I was like, okay, let's go. If he's looking for history of the town, he'd go to where the records are. So that's where I was on my way there.
Okay. But you said he was an elf in the tavern?
That's what the barkeep said. So I'm thinking, if he didn't say a dragonborn entered, then
well, I mean, they're kind of big bigs, so I mean, they kind of stand out when they do walk in places.
Yeah. If he didn't see a dragonborn enter and only saw an elf enter, then this person probably has a way to conceal his race.
Well, either an elf playing it being a dragonborn, or it's a dragonborn playing it being an elf.
Maybe.
Did you try greasing the wheels, or as it's called, it's transaction area up here?
The bartender was very forthcoming.
Okay, if you believe him.
I didn't see any reason not to.
And the lady Melisande also informed us. Did you want to repeat what you told us earlier, my lady?
There is a story of this town possibly being built on top of was it ancient burial ground? Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody goes out at night because the ghosts walk around at night.
Yeah, the bartender was worried about ghosts too. A little weird.
Oh,
So,
there's Clarence.
okay.
So, and it's just kind of very heavy feeling in this town.
Maybe we can find out more at the mayor's office.
Maybe that okay. No, that's a good idea, but here's a question. And I'm sure you've all thought of this, all you bigs have big ideas way up there. But the air's thinner up where you are. So anyway, I might not occur to you. So if you wanted to do something, you didn't want people to see it, around this town, wouldn't you do it at night? Because you know they're all inside and they don't want to look outside? So
Sure.
wouldn't this be the perfect place to do things at night? As long as you didn't want anybody looking out to see you, and if they did make a noise or a bump or you cause some racket, you could just blame it on ghosts the next morning, and everyone go, "Oh yeah, that's all it was."
Probably.
Sure.
Or depending on how long the ghosts have been showing up recently, or if it's been a long time, then okay, maybe it's a bigger problem. But if they've only been showing up recently, maybe somebody's pulling a big scam, and they've created the ghosts to perpetuate the myth, and there might not actually even be any ghosts now, but they're just having people believe there are, so they can do things at night, because they're being stealthy and sneaky, and that would just be a really underhanded way to get your way with doing what you want to do and nobody watching you. Man, I should have thought of that a couple years ago. Oh my gosh, that would have been so much easier. Oh, that's right.
Zoinks.
That's right.
Well, I mean, I know one way we can answer that question. And I look to our grave cleric. You could ask my aunt.
Can ask a lot of things and a lot of people, especially if it is if it's actual supernatural, we'll be able to figure it out quite easily. Other than that, jeepers, that would be such a plan.
Yeah, I mean, talk about, thinking second and third level stuff. This is pretty impressive. Somebody actually pulled this off. I mean, that's a crew I want to go work with. So, but if anybody can figure it out, Silas, for big, you're the guy I'd pick to figure it out. So, all right, well, let's go see the mayor, I think, and we'll see what he's got to tell us and go from there. So, jaunty steps and onward.
Okay. So you continue to make your way to the mayor's house. And as you approach, it definitely stands out in this town. Like, I mean, it's almost ostentatious compared to what you've seen in this town. This ramshackle kind of rundown town, and the mayor's living pretty, it seems. Oh, that's gross. As you approach, there are two, for lack of a better term, guards waiting outside. They say,
Is
okay.
Clarence with us now?
Clarence is probably half asleep.
Okay.
He's been awake since 4 a.m.
Sorry about that.
Here, I'm awake again, but like.
Clarence would be at the mayor's house, or would Clarence rather be at the bar?
Yo, Clarence is at the mayor's house.
Cool.
Yeah, sorry guys. Currently, my boss, we're doing 12s, 5 to 5:30. So.
They've done that. Been there, done that. That's rough. That's a rough schedule.
Yeah. But I'm here. I'm awake. I'm alive.
I would like to think that my storyline is not as see-through as old school Scooby-Doo is.
What are you talking about? Old school Scooby-Doo has the best plot twists known to man.
If by best you mean always able to be seen, yes, they do.
That just makes it good storytelling.
Oh, excuse me. All right.
Arriving at the mayor's house, there were two guards, I believe.
Yep, they're, for lack of a better term, guards. They're just in like what looks like basic leather armor. Short swords at their side. Looks like maybe a small little private protection detail. And you approach, and their hands instinctively go to their weapons and say, "Have business with the mayor?"
Yes.
May we ask what that business is?
Information on jobs of a adventuring nature.
That'll probably make the mayor pretty happy. Please, come on in. And they will escort you to the entryway. And as you walk in, it's... The initial entryway, you could tell, is kind of like the town records area. There's a desk, there's like scrolls and whatnot strewn about. Very not kept well. And there is a from your vantage point, it looks like a gnome behind the desk with spectacles on that's, furiously trying to scribble notes, and looks like they're copying something from one source to another.
Did the guards stop us here, or are they moving us?
Yeah, the guards stay in this little foyer area. And after a second, the gnome looks up and goes, "Are they here for the mayor?" And one of the guards nods their head and says, "Fine, I'll go fetch him." He finishes writing something down real quick, puts the quill in the ink bottle, and scurries off. He's got a very severe limp, and he's going up the set of stairs.
Did he leave the ledger open?
Yes, he did.
Are the guard? How attentive are the guards looking?
They're just kind of standing there waiting. Doesn't look like they're like intent on anything. But like they side glance you guys to make sure you're not trying to do anything fishy or unbecoming.
And can I stealth and hide behind Clarence?
I mean, it's easy enough to do. But go ahead and make a stealth check.
Okay. Stealth check. Stealth check. I gotta roll something more than a frickin' single digit.
You feel pretty well hidden behind Clarence there.
Would like to, if I can, I'd like to get behind. I'd like to get behind the desk and see what the gnome was writing.
Yeah. Behind the desk, you see it just says taxes paid, and it has it has a few different businesses written down. You notice that there is a very clear lack of the stable owner's name, though.
Okay, interesting. Can the guards see me from where they are?
I will say, based on your height, you're kind of hidden behind the desk pretty well.
Can I turn the page and look back at what are previous entries?
Yeah, flip into the previous entry. Actually, make a sleight of hand check.
Let's see. Now I have. Okay, sleight of hand again.
Yeah. Flipping to the previous page, you see, the prior month's taxes. Similar names, no stable owner.
Return the ledger to the original page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting. And do the taxes seem reasonable?
Yeah. Nothing that seems... Well, maybe for a thief like you, it's a bit outrageous, but to a normal person, it's
absolutely.
probably...
There's no reason all this money should go into just the big run being inefficient. There's no way. There's no way Vigo's paying these kind of... This is why I don't own a business. Everything goes into my coffers. That's where it stays. Tithe. No, not going to happen. Tithes just mean the church has got more money that needs to be liberated and returned back to the poor. And I consider myself to be one of the poorest.
There you go. One second on that. Topher, thank you for the raid and the host. I appreciate it. Welcome to the channel, everybody. We're doing some Dungeons and Dragons.
Is there anything in the desk of interest?
Make an investigation check.
Die. Whatever virtual die this is going to get horizontal velocity. Throw it. I virtually throw this die away. Okay. All right. I will return back to where I was standing and make my appearance from behind Clarence again.
Yeah. Quick glance through the desk. You don't see anything that takes your interest. So you're just like, yeah, and slink back over behind the nice big Warforged.
Oh, well, actually, was there a trinket or any kind of other thing? Was there, some little bubble? Because
not with that check.
Take up something. Didn't find anything. Is there a slimline stapler I can pocket? No.
We'll say you can grab a stapler. Yeah, why not?
Slimline?
Yep.
A red slimline stapler?
Yep.
Okay.
You know they did not make a red version of that stapler until after the movie came out.
Really?
Here's a question. Where did they get the red one for the movie?
It wasn't a swingline stapler. It was a different red stapler.
Was it really? Okay.
That's the lore I remember, at least. As a computer programmer, I heavily invest a lot of my personality into that movie. So.
Okay, that's wild. All right. Okay, so I will step back to Clarence and wander back around his other leg to casually reappear.
Yeah, they didn't even notice you were gone. All right. After a few minutes, the gnome comes wobbling down the stairs and says, "All right, he'll be right with you folks. I apologize for the wait." He goes back to his ledger and begins to continue to write, and closes that one and switches to something else. After a few more minutes, a older gentleman looks very worn out, and he comes downstairs and says, "Greetings, I am Alias. What brings you to our town? I hear you're looking for work."
Yeah. We are looking for adventuring work.
Well, I guess I could have you do the same thing I tried to have the last group do. They didn't complete it, but, hey, maybe you guys will have better luck. We have a ghost problem. And I've had it for about 10 years now. I need the damn things gone. It's making all my people move out. It's making businesses shut down. I want to become something glorious again.
What happened to the last group?
They never returned. I don't know what happened to them.
Where did they go?
They said something about checking in with the church to see if they knew anything.
Okay.
And they didn't update me, so I don't know what happened after that. I figured they were just scared off. Everyone is.
We are also looking for a large man with a spear. As he came by, we also have to.
There was a spear wielder that came to check some of the town records, but large is not the term I would use.
No?
And no, it was closer to his size, and he points at Vigo.
Were they in plated armor as well?
It looked like he was wearing some sort of plate mail or something of the sort.
Did you know where that person went?
No, they checked a couple books and then left. Said thank you for my time and, give me a nice little tip to allow him to look at the town records, but,
Do you know what books they took?
Yeah,
Or
he
looked at?
he grabs 3 books off the shelf. One of them is titled "The Making of Quaning."
Okay.
The second title is "The History of." It's like a history of the area book, and the third title is just a kind of a census, like who currently lives in the town.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Well,
we
they're
will-
talking about the. Go
what-
ahead.
I was just going to ask you, what's the payment for the ghost job?
For if you're able to get rid of the ghost problem, and it stays gone. Let me be clear on that. Stays gone. I will reward you with 500 gold pieces each.
Okay. Solid. Yeah. If the if the plated person comes back, can you tell them we're looking for them?
Of course. And who should I say is looking for him?
No, that's okay. Please don't say anything. We'd be happy to come back and check in with you later, but if the plated person returns for any reason of any size, just make note of it, and we'll be happy to come back and check in with you, and don't mention anything about us asking questions on that.
You kind of see him like rub his fingers together.
Okay.
So look at the mayor, and I'm trying to suss out, does he look like the kind of guy that would take a bribe? And
Yes. You don't even have to roll for that one. He definitely looks like the kind of guy that would take a
That's
bribe.
smart.
Vigo steps forward just a little bit, looks up and says, $4.50 each. I'm trying to indicate he can save 50 gold apiece.
He thinks on it for a moment, says, "That'll do. I'll be sure to let you know if they drop by again."
But we were never here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Excellent. Happy doing business with you.
Good luck.
Where
I
would
hope
the
to not see you again, if you know what I mean.
Of course. If we were to go looking for the ghosts, and I'll turn around and look at Silas, where would we start?
Well, we can go talk to the church and see if there's any reasons why they might be here. We could also go to the graveyard, make sure that all the grave ceremonies have been done correctly. I start racking my brain about religious reasons why this might be happening. And as we're walking back to the inn, I'm going to keep my eyes out to see if there's any odd occult symbols.
I'm gonna ask Vigo why he didn't want the one guy to tell the spear wielder why we weren't here.
My suspicion is that the Dragonborn we're looking for is using some kind of disguise because he became a Dragonborn at the stables. He was an elf wielding a spear at the inn, and now it's a proper-sized halfling wielding a spear and plate mail at the mayor's house. 3 different locations, same town, same armor, same weapon.
Sure.
Different person wearing them. Either a changeling
Yeah.
or one of these wiggly fingered types who also wears armor. But I always thought that the wiggly finger stuff didn't let you wear metal armor. So there's something else going on. But if the mayor says, "Oh, hey, somebody's looking for you, and this is the guy we're looking for," we just again tipped our hand. And
Did we?
the mayor tells him, if the mayor says, the guy shows up this afternoon, the mayor
Right.
says, "Hey, there's a group looking for you."
Well,
He
sure.
knows we're looking for him, but
Uh-huh.
we don't know that he knows. So maybe he runs off and he flees and goes back north.
If a random group of people were looking for him?
Well, if he's not supposed to be down here. It's not a
We
good
were-
place for him to be because this is not where his group. And I want to look around, make sure there's nobody listening to this conversation as we walk and talk.
Perception check.
Thank you very much. Otherwise, I would not hold this conversation.
Yeah, looking around doesn't look like anybody's purposefully listening. Like I said, this place is a little ghost town. There's not a lot of people out and about.
So, okay, but again, I think if we're tipping our hand that we're looking for this guy, then whatever he looks like, we're already, he's already changed his face 3 times.
Sure.
He's on
But I
3
think that's-
different faces at 3
But
different locations.
But he
in the same
didn't
town.
change his armor, and he didn't change his weapon.
Okay, so you tell me that there's
So-
3. There's a dragonborn,
No.
an elf, and a proper sized person walking around.
I think
With-
he doesn't care that much. Because if he did care that much, he'd flip that stuff as well. I think that just might be something
Or maybe he can't.
he does.
Maybe he can't flip that stuff.
Sure, then, but either way, he might not care.
He may not care. You're absolutely correct. But I'd rather he not know we're looking as long as possible.
Yeah, but we have no idea where he is.
That's right. So if he knows we're in town, we're the only new faces in town.
Sure.
So we're kind of easy to find.
Yeah, I kind of
So-
want him to find us.
We're
then
not
I
supposed to engage.
And then I could seduce him.
The lady's correct. She just said it. We're not supposed to engage. This is
Right.
recon.
We're not supposed to fight him.
Supposed to engage. That's correct. If we tell him we're looking for him, and he comes to engage, we've blown the mission.
Well, do you think that he's going to walk in and enter combat immediately?
I don't know.
Or do you think he's going to walk in and be like, or at least send somebody and be like, why are you looking for this X person? Because we're adventurers, right? Like, we look for anything out of the normal, right?
Okay.
Looking for anything out of the normal. And the one thing that we're getting from all of these town people that are out of the normal is ghosts and interesting guy with a spear and heavy armor. So we'd follow up on any of that.
Right. But we don't want to tell him we're following up on any of that.
Well, I'm pushing we're an adventuring party.
I got that part. But we don't want him to know we're looking at him.
So I can help out with this.
Perfect.
I don't know about Mood here, but I can have the ability to scry on him. However, we need to get some money first because we have to buy some components. So we could potentially scry on him if we have the components. That being said, since we don't have a good connection to him, it's going to be a little hard to do.
So what? Okay, great. Keep going. You have my attention.
Also, I haven't rolled for this, but religious-wise, do I know any reason why there'd be ghosts here?
There's a whole bunch of potential reasons. The biggest one that sticks out in your mind, and this is what you've heard already, is potential burial ground underneath the town.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple enough. If we can actually do the grave rites, let's get to the church. Well, in my opinion, let's get to the inn. Let's wait till nightfall. Let's go to the church, and I can perform a holy ceremony of some sorts. We might need to wait a day so I can actually prepare the spell. If the DM wants me to actually cast ceremony, but if we can at least start communing with the dead or talking to the dead, seeing what's up with them, we can get there, and we can make this place consecrated. So, that being said, I think you are right. We don't want to give away that we're here, that there's an adventuring party.
Well, I think if
So we either we go to the church now, and I can talk to the priest and see if he's tried anything, or we just go to the tavern and we walk in blind, and I just continue, and I try to consecrate the ground.
I think we should follow up on the other adventuring party that vanished and why they vanished, because them just not coming back seems a little weird. The church probably would know why, because that's where they went next.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I like this idea, and Silas, that's great information. So, what do you need as far as, like, you keep saying we have to buy stuff so you can do the spells? What stuff we gotta buy? Like,
So for scrying, we need 1,000 gold pieces, and we need to buy like a magic crystal ball, a font of holy water. So since there's probably holy water in the church, we can maybe pay to use that holy water.
and you need this with the crystal ball or instead of the crystal ball?
Instead of the crystal ball, I can either use like a
Okay.
crystal ball, mirrors,
Well,
a very
mirrors.
fine deck of tarot cards.
Can we just polish up Clarence's armor?
It's gotta be 1,000
No.
gold worth.
He's definitely maybe
I
like
don't
3
know.
gold worth. Let's be real here.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Okay, so the church could answer questions about the previous adventuring party, maybe what questions they asked, maybe why they left or what they found out. We could see that they have you said a font of holy water?
Yes.
I never knew holy water was worth anything. I may be in the wrong business. Okay, so you could use that.
If it's legitimate holy water, then we
Well,
can.
It's gotta be 1,000 gold pieces worth of holy water.
That's a big font.
Well, the font. I think it's more the font and the thing holding the vessel containing.
Yeah, the
the
whole
holy
thing.
water.
Yeah, the whole thing's got to be that expensive. Which
Yeah.
So the
I don't know if we're gonna find in this town.
the tavern mug with full of holy water doesn't count.
Correct. I'm sure we could commission a mason of sort to create us a um, very fine font of my lover. I mean, Mood's aunt.
What did you say just then before you said mood's aunt?
My madam.
No, you said a different word. I have
Wait,
small ears, but I heard a big say a different word.
Vance?
Nope.
I tapped Melisande on the kneecap. Did you hear him say a different word?
I think I did. Yeah, I think I heard
Yeah.
him say
Okay.
love.
Okay. So even at that level where you bigs are talking, I still heard a different word down here. So let's try that again.
When it comes to her, they're kind of synonymous with cleric and lover.
Oh,
Right.
there you go. See, look at you using big words. Oh. Are they big words, or just big words, or just big words using big words, or big words that are big? Anyway, so sorry, I've been reading this wonderful scroll by this guy named
Your
Catherine.
cast work is showing.
I know it is. I'm trying to separate them.
I'm here for it.
Okay, so all right. Okay. So I got. Okay, so this is why you need tithes, huh? Okay, yeah, I don't think so. All right. Oh, so let's go see the church. And Silas, you're the guy. This is you. This is all about your kind of stuff. And off character, Brendan, how we doing for time?
We got 9 minutes. So I think we'll do the church dialogue and then we'll call it there.
Oh, I'll shut up. I will mention to the group that the gnome clerk writing in the ledger of the town taxes, the stable owner was not listed in multiple entries, so the stable owner is not currently paying taxes for some reason.
That's weird. I'm sure we can find that out.
Yes, we should, because see, this guy's figured out some way to avoid getting taxed by the city, which could be very important for some people, if they ever wanted to work a legit business. But something to keep in mind. Okay, so.
Wait, I'm assuming this is like a very country inn where it's just the foyer, the pews, and then an altar of sort.
Yes. No, there is a donation box, as all churches. Have you seen the old school like Robin Hood cartoon with the fox and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Friar Tuck's little church there with the little donation box on the side and very homely.
Yeah.
So no.
So a priest actually ring my bell in the church to get his attention.
Yeah, and he looks up and you're surprised. It's actually a younger gentleman, human in appearance. Looks up and says, another person of the cloth. Welcome to my humble establishment. What can I do for you today? Do you need a blessing?
Well, I don't mean to give. I don't think you can give me a blessing. I think I can give you a blessing of sorts. My name is Silas Scrim. I am a follower of Madame. And I was wondering about your ghost problem.
I have tried everything that has come to mind to try and rid this village of the ghost, but there's something beyond my scope of knowledge at work here. So any input would be greatly appreciated.
I mean, I can do burial rites out at midnight, and I can, at the same time, commune with my god and see if they would be willing to assist me. They can't directly assist, of course, but I'm sure there's some way I can combine my powers and knowledge of what I have to cleanse this area. However, I heard there was another adventuring party before us, and the last they saw, they were heading towards the church.
Yes, they came in and they spoke with me. And They asked what was going on, and I informed them. I've tried doing burial rites, as you said. I have tried consecrating the ground. I have tried so many different things. Nothing seems to work. And then they set to the graveyard to... They wanted to look around in the mausoleums and make sure nothing was coming from there. And honestly, that's the last I heard from them.
So there's a mausoleum. Okay. Do you know who the mausoleum is to?
Honestly, the mausoleum's names have been... This one's been worn out with years and years of age. It's been here for as long as I was a wee lad in this town.
Is this mausoleum here before the consecration of communion?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so what we probably need to do is go into the mausoleum and take care of whatever's down there. We can easily accomplish that, and we will certainly be able to help you out with that.
Does anybody go in the mausoleums
have-
anymore?
What?
Does anybody go in the mausoleums anymore?
This town, unfortunately, has a very, how do you say, superstitious people.
So they never...
They rarely come to church these days.
Do they ever go down into the mausoleum?
Oh, no. They don't even visit the graves in the cemetery.
So no one cares about the cemetery?
They care, they're just afraid.
Okay.
You have ghosts in your town at night? Are you going to hang out in a cemetery? I don't think so.
Well, no, like, before the ghosts started coming, did people go to the mausoleum?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Well, you said all the mausoleums, their names were chipped off, so I was thinking, were they old enough that no one visited them anymore?
They're old, but people still pay respects to the dead.
Okay, so they it's not so old that no one knows who's buried there.
I don't believe anyone does know who's buried there, but they were probably important to the town as they have a established place for them. So this church is dedicated to that of Dave.
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 Okay.
Dave.
I'll allow everyone to make a religion check
Dave.
on the Church of Dave. Unfortunately, Joe is not here to tell of the Church of Dave.
Button.
The dude that's been sleeping knows most of Dave.
All right, so Clarence, Mood, and Silas, this is actually very appropriate for you. All know of the Church of Dave. It originally belonged to the pantheon of Pelor, but Pelor was corrupted long ago by Merkel, the god of undeath, and a group of adventurers, one of whom was the avatar of Pelor, was able to defeat Pelor, and the avatar replaced Pelor as the god of, light and whatnot, as now it is Dave.
Dave.
Dave the Third, if I remember correctly.
No last name?
I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'll have to get a hold of Joe.
I think it'd be funnier if there was no last name.
I don't think there is.
Just Dave.
Dave the Third.
The third. Alright, yeah, I can't stay up any longer.
No, you're fine.
Right.
The Holy Roller Church of the Lighthouse on the Illuminated Rock of Dave the Third. But yeah, do you have any other questions for him, Silas?
Nope. We'll begin with next time. I'll start doing my spells, and we'll get everybody buffed up before we head into the dungeon.
And ask.
I wonder how
ask him
angry
if
that'd be if I
the
just
holy water you need to.
blow it up.
Everything.
Do you think they really care? I would say that to the group. I was like, do you think they'd really care too much if their mausoleum was just underground? in Rebel?
Yes.
I
We're not. That is not an option.
I can't see why. Like, the ghosts are angry. It would
No.
solve that problem.
No.
Solve that problem. It'd be really easy.
No.
We can discuss
Finger-
that
I just-
next
I just
week.
snap my fingers and then it's probably rubble.
Go stand in the corner.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard.
Actually, point and tell you to go stand in the corner. We'll talk about this later.
What's wrong with doing that? People, they come back. When you've been dead long enough, you come back a whole bunch of times. You don't remember where you were, but you come back. Or you form with
good question.
Or you form with an endless void, and then you're supposed to be happy, but no one really knows whether you're happy or not when you're infused with them. But that's why most of them come back.
Well, San had a good question.
Oh, I said, should Silas ask if we can use their holy water to scry? If they have enough.
Looking around, do they have a font of holy water, or is it just a small basin in the middle that would be for like baptisms?
Yeah, it's more of a small basin in this town.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where we'll stop tonight's session. So, after the conversation. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you again, Topher, for the raid. I'll see you on Thursday, Topher, even though you already went to bed. But, yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see you folks next Monday for the second episode.